Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by. Welcome to the Pension Fund Q&A conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. Later, we will conduct a question-and-answer session. Instructions will be given at that time. If you should require assistance during the call, please press star then 0. As a reminder, today's conference is being recorded. I would now like to turn the conference over to your host, Jim Hamlet. Please go ahead.
Thank you, operator. Hello, everyone. For the next hour, I will be your host for this question and answer session. It's designed to keep you informed about the pension fund and to answer as best we can any questions you may have for us. We've done this now for several years, and we've found it to be of particular help to us as well as to those who've been calling in. Our last program was 6 months ago, and much has occurred since then, and I hope you will find this an informative and helpful session. As is our custom, several of my colleagues are sitting with me today, who I will call on in the event that they may be best prepared to answer your question. Sitting at the table this evening are Duncan Draper, our Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, Treasurer, David Stone, Vice President and Chief Investment Officer, Michael Porter, Director of Health Services, Eugene Fisher, Vice President for Employer Services, and Sandra Michael Bowers, our Vice President for Member Services. The session, as we've heard, is being recorded and will be posted on our website early next week. If we run out of time or if your question has not been answered, you may want to join us for the next session, which will be on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If you are not able to ask your question, you can also submit one to us at our website, PFCC1@pensionfund.org. We'll open up for questions in a couple of moments, but first I do have a few comments to make. Particularly after 2 years of preparation, on June 1, the pension fund implemented its new data system designed to give staff additional tools with which to serve and to provide participants with online access to accounts and employers with online access to manage their employee participation. In the new system, we found it functioned generally pretty well throughout the month of June. But as the month-end approached, we discovered a fatal flaw in the new pension payment process that caused us to revert to the old system and use the June 1 payment amounts so that all pensioners would have funds in their accounts on July 1 as expected. Our plan was to provide correct pension amounts on July 3, coupled with the electronic recovery of the July 1 transaction. The plan seemed simple enough, but following implementation of it, we discovered some additional problems related to tax withholding, healthcare payments, and some account numbers. The best-laid plans did not fully remediate the initial problem, and indeed caused additional unintended pensioner impacts. For all of these issues, we humbly apologize. August 1 payments, of course, went much more smoothly, although not completely without challenge. Actions to resolve residual issues with both July 1 and August 1 transactions are nearly complete, and we anticipate the September payments will function normally and accurately. If you tried to call in or email our offices during the first few weeks of July and found our responsiveness lacking, I apologize. With more than 6,000 persons receiving pension benefits affected by the July 1 payment issue, our call center of 5 incredibly talented and committed colleagues were simply overwhelmed with the volume of calls and emails. They, and indeed most of our staff, have worked many extra hours over the last 2 months in our effort to serve everyone and bring the system into full compliance. Quarterly statements were late, but they were sent out for most participants in early August. I hope you find the combined format efficient and effective. Early feedback has been most favorable, but we will continue to tweak the report to further streamline the process in future reporting periods. I do want to share with you that effective with the second quarter reporting, the pension fund implemented a slightly different compounding process, daily compounding process for all TDA, BA, and IRA accounts. This will marginally affect or enhance the return on your accounts. Interest rates for the last quarter of this year will be announced on or before September 18. So watch for the announcement on our website. Some of you may have health care coverage through Churchwide Healthcare. Rates for 2014 will be announced in early September. While they have not been fully finalized, I can say that we expect rates for Medicare secondary care plans to remain about as they are for 2013. Active plans should see single-digit rate increases. Of course, if one has hit one of those magic birthdays ending in 0 or 5 this year, your actual rate of increase will be affected not only by the change in rate, but by the change in age banding. We presently do not anticipate any significant change in church-wide healthcare programs and benefits for 2014. Through the first 6 months, the pension fund had good investment returns and outperformed the benchmarks against which we evaluate our performance. While it's too early to extrapolate or forecast what that may mean in any consideration for special apportionments or good experience credits, likely, if the rates continue as they are, there may be that possibility. But we can anticipate that investment markets may remain choppy for the balance of the year, so there's no guarantee what the rates will look like at the end of the year. But given the slow progress in the economy, I personally expect the markets will remain fairly strong at year end. When we announced this session, we invited folks to send in questions. I plan to intersperse the questions that you have with those that were submitted so that we may all hear as many as are available. I do want to remind you that this is a nationwide public conference call phone line so that any question you may have about your particular situation, any account or balance or other issue related to your own situation, probably should be handled either by email or by a later phone call. This is not a good forum for that kind of call. So with that caveat, we are ready for questions. Operator, if you would please.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question, please press star, then 1 on your touch-tone phone. You will hear a tone indicating you've been placed in queue. A voice prompt on your phone line will indicate when your line has been opened. You may remove yourself from queue at any time by pressing the star key followed by the digit 2. If you're using a speakerphone, please pick up the handset before pressing the corresponding digits. Once again, please press star 1 at this time. And we'll take our first question.
Yes, this is Dennis Zimmerman calling from Kentucky. Being in the news a lot lately about pension funds, both public and private, corporate, going underwater. What's the likelihood of this happening to our pension over the next 10, 15, 20 years?
I don't know that anybody can have a crystal ball that clear at this point, but here's what I can tell you. What you are hearing in the newspapers are pension funds that are 40, 50, 60% actuarially funded that are in crisis today. Your pension plan is at this writing or at this airing is about 130% fully funded. We are more than fully funded. Our goal is always to be at 100% or better. And so given the conservative assumptions that underlie the benefit program, and given what the staff and the investment managers have laid out for our long-term objectives, we feel very confident in the pension plan for many years to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, if you would like to ask a question, press star, then 1. That is star 1 on your telephone keypad to ask a question at this time. And we have no questions at this time.
Okay. Let me intersperse a different question. This is for Duncan Draper to answer, and the question is that I know the pension fund has been updating its data system and has been talking about providing an online access for members to view for their account information. Can you give an update on the progress and when you plan to roll out an online portal for members?
Thank you, Jim. And good evening, everyone. The answer to that is I'm afraid I can't give you a hard date at this time. Our plans remain consistent with what our original plans were, that as soon as the system was stabilized and that we were fully functional, we anticipated somewhere around 60 days after that time to be able to introduce the online access to our members. The sequence will remain the same. We will do that. We are going to roll that out first for our online members, our individual members, and then follow that with an online access tool for our employers as well. We have an early release of that information into our test system, but we have not fully started the activity of testing that system. And until we do that, it's really difficult for me to set a date on when that's going to be available. But generally, we had thought that it would take somewhere around 60 days, and therefore I would predict something in that type of time frame from this point. So I would feel pretty comfortable that late September or middle of October, we should be able to introduce that program.
Okay, thank you. Operator, do we have anybody in queue?
At this time, there is no one in queue for questions. But if you would like to ask a question, press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And we'll take our next question.
Hi, this is Ray Aiken, calling from Hawaii, where we're celebrating our golden anniversary.
Well, congratulations, Ray.
Thank you very much. We're having a great time.
Great.
I know that isn't the purpose of this call, but I just thought I'd toss that in since you weren't having too many callers. I want to say that it's being an adventure to follow the pension plan through all of its updatings and modernizations, and it's rather exciting to watch and to be a part of, and I want to thank you for working so hard to be on the cutting edge of things.
Well, thank you. I can tell you that it has been an adventure for my colleagues and I.
I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. And again, congratulations on your anniversary.
Thank you very much.
Again, if you would like to ask a question, press star 1 on your telephone keypad. We have no questions at this time. Oh, we do have a question. We'll go to hello, your line is open.
Oh, I would like to ask more questions. I'm calling on behalf of Pastor Edouard Villeneuve. I have more questions regarding the organization.
Please, I did not catch who you were calling for.
Excuse me?
I did not understand who you were calling on behalf of.
Oh, Edouard Villeneuve.
Okay.
Edward Villeneuve.
Okay.
Okay.
And what is your question?
I'd like to know more about the organization, your organization.
About the pension fund itself or about our investment?
Say it again?
Let me give you a quick overview of the pension fund.
Okay.
Okay. It is a ministry of the Christian Church that offers pension and retirement savings programs for pastors and lay employees of the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, and related ministries of the Stone Campbell tradition. So any employee of any of those ministries is eligible to participate through their employer.
I see. And he's a pastor, so then he's able to participate.
That is correct.
All right. I thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good to talk with you.
Good to talk with you, too. All right. Bye-bye.
And again, if you would like to ask a question at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. And we have no more questions at this time.
Okay, then let me direct a question to Reverend Sandra Michael Bowers. Here's a question. What is the better option? Should I retire at age 65, age 66, or when I get full Social Security, or should I stay on a few more years on that? What are the impacts of my pension in those options?
Okay. Well, deciding at what age to retire is an individual decision. Of course, if you retire at age 65, you're not eligible to take your full Social Security yet, but you can take your pension as long as you stop working at the church. You wait till age 66. You may be eligible to receive additional pension credits if you continue to work between age 65 up to age 70. So it's an individual decision. Whether you receive Social Security or not does not affect your pension plan pension. But if you want specific information about your pension, you can contact our office and we'll do an individual pension projection for you.
Great. Thank you. Operator, do we have anybody else in queue?
We have no one in queue at this time. But if you would like to ask a question, press star 1. Okay, looks like we do have a question.
Yes, sir. If you are a retired minister and you own your home, you have no indebtedness for the home, what can you claim as housing exemption? Previously, you could claim utilities and other things specific to upkeep of the home. Now, if you own the home, you're retired, what is claimable now on your exemption?
Okay. Let me ask Sandra to respond to that.
Your housing allowance is limited to the lowest of the fair rental value of the home furnished plus the cost of utilities, or the actual expenses of operating the home, or the amount that was designated. And like I said, it's the lower amount of those. So usually once you no longer have a mortgage on the house, you're going to be limited to the actual expenses of operating the home. And those would be your utilities, any furnishings that you might have to purchase or replace, maintenance and repairs, insurance, and property taxes. So those are the things that you could still include in housing allowance.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
To ask a question, press star 1. We have no one in queue to ask a question at this time. Okay, we'll take our next question.
Yes, this is George Falk in Oklahoma City. I think everything is okay about this, but I was just curious as to what happened. I noticed the deposit of my monthly pension. It's sort of interesting. It was deposited 2 times, the pension, and then my financial institution, of course, had to refund you the extra one. I wonder how all that happened.
Well, as I tried to explain earlier in my opening comments, that was part of the process that we were trying to do with our new data system, and we discovered in late June that the new system was not up to making the pension payments as we had anticipated. So we first reverted to the old system and did, on July 1, the amount that you would have normally received in earlier months. That did not include special apportionment. We then intended to send you the correct amount on the 3rd of June and retrieve the July 1 amount back so that we could make the numbers right. And not all of that went smoothly. So if you saw a number of transactions in your account, it was our trying to make it right. And we apologize for any confusion that has created.
Well, it looks like everything's right. I was just curious as to what happened. So thank you for that information.
Thank you very much. We hope that your August and September and future payments will all be normal.
Again, to ask a question, press star 1. And we'll go to our next question.
Hi, my name is Rachel from Kentucky. Would you please explain the change in philosophy toward the base interest rates and access for the benefit accumulation account? It's one of my favorite benefits that the pension fund offers, and I'm concerned that the recent changes will deny ministers the opportunity to have necessary short-term savings to pay for unexpected emergencies or to have extra funds available to be able to have flexibility in leaving positions in churches and follow calling, sure, not just wait around for the money to be available.
Right. Rachel, thank you for your question. I'm going to break it into two parts, and I'm going to ask Duncan Draper to answer the first question regarding the philosophy around interest rates. And then I'll come back and discuss more importantly what we see happening in the benefit accumulation account program.
Good. And Rachel, if I understood your question correctly, it was probably more related to the BA account interest rate as opposed to anything else. So I'm going to limit my comments just to that. If you'd like more discussion on that, feel free to give me a call if you like. Relative to the BA account, really starting back in 2001, the staff and board of directors began to evaluate out of the recession of 2001-2002 that we were funding at a very high rate. At that time, we were funding a minimum of 6% in these accounts. That had followed an extraordinary economic period during the 1990s and allowed us to do that. But it was kind of a wake-up call, if you would, in that time frame. When we got to 2007, 8, and 9, everyone's aware of the market conditions that deteriorated so badly. And what we realized is that this BA fund, while certainly a great fund and very valuable for our members, it has some features in it that provide a lot of the liquidity that you mentioned in your question. The fact that people can access that money without any restriction. That's very different than the TD8 program or the Roth IRA program, where there are certain ages that are required and that kind of thing. Given that, we had to change the range of what the interest rate tolerance would be, if you will. And as we continue to build reserves in the BA program as the other programs, our expectation is that the good experience credit supplements when we have good years and excess reserves. We are then able to supplement, much like we did last year with the BA fund. If you compare the BA fund to bank savings accounts, as an example, which it most looks like in terms of the access and the liquidity, and compare what our rates were. Last year, we had an effective rate of 5.4%. There was the 2% base rate and a good experience credit of 3.4%. The 5.4% far outperformed anything that you saw in the banking industry in terms of those kind of products. So the philosophy remains solid that we're trying to give positive returns to our members that are fair, and in this case, I believe, outperforming really what the market provides.
Okay. Rachel, let me pick up the other part of your question, if I may, regarding how we are looking at the benefit accumulation account program today. You may be aware that we discontinued receiving new accounts a couple of years ago. And we did that so that we could take some time and really look at the program to determine how it best fit in what we do. We've worked with consultants outside and attorneys outside And we believe that we are at a position that within the next few months we may be able to announce some new changes in the account program and reopen it for folks. We stand committed to that as a valuable investment tool and cash flow tool for our clergy and those that we serve. So we're working very diligently to put it in a best position to serve more effectively. But until that's done, we will not be reopening it. So hopefully within the next few months we can make that announcement. Is that helpful?
Yes. It is. It's just it's a passion of mine that I run in. Gosh, going to the General Assembly, I run into so many ministers who are not in good financial footing, and having that BA account available would make a significant difference in their lives.
We believe it's a great tool, and so we share your passion.
Thank you so much for your answer.
Thank you.
And we'll go to our next question.
Yes, this is Dennis in Kentucky again, kind of tagging on to Rachel's comment just now. I like to contribute to the health payments for older clergy that are in need, and I know there's also a way in which we can help provide an additional check for the clergy that had smaller pensions because of an earlier time in which they served. I was just wondering, are clergy generally catching up now? I mean, the days of clergy getting the chicken and a lump of coal are kind of past. But do we have still a significant need for aiding older clergy?
Well, that's a tough question. I think the pension fund has been very, very successful over the years, and those who have been in the pension plan or participated in its programs are generally doing reasonably well. But we are moving into a situation today where we have more congregations that are under, let's say, under 100 members, and their ability to provide dues for their pastor to be in the pension plan are sorely constrained. So it may appear that we are having fewer requests today, but I believe that the seeds have been sown for a new round of need in the coming years, particularly for those small congregation pastors.
Thank you. I hadn't even thought about that. I was thinking about, days gone by, but yes, we're in a new era now. I kind of lose sight of that reality. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Please press star 1 on your telephone keypad if you would like to ask a question. We have no questions in queue at this time.
Sandra, if somebody wants to begin their pension, what's the process that they follow?
Okay, well, to begin your pension, the first thing that you need to do is to talk with your employer about when you will end your employment with them, and then you should contact the pension fund, or you can access the retirement application from our website. So you would need to complete a retirement application and send it to us, and we set it up for the date that you want to begin. And our pensions, we pay them on the first of the month for that month. So August pensions paid the first working day of August. Other than that, it's not really a complicated process.
How far out do I need to do that? How far in advance should I do that? What would you recommend?
Well, at least a month.
At least. Preferably a couple, I would say.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mm-hmm. Operator, do we have any more in queue?
We have no questions in queue at this time. Oh, we did have one come in.
Yes, I have a question. This is Nancy Saunders. if you have a 403B and a beneficial accumulation account, at death, can your beneficiaries remain with the pension fund and leave that money there, or must they take it out at your death?
The benefit accumulation account, they would have to we would have to close the account and distribute it to the beneficiaries. On the tax-deferred account, the beneficiary would have the option of leaving the funds here, though because it's an inherited account, they would have to continue receiving the required minimum distributions that the original owner was receiving. They also would have the option to roll it over into their own account, but it would still be an inherited account, and they'd still have to take annual required minimum distributions.
According to their income or mine?
No, it's not the income. It's based on their age.
But it would be based on yours.
It would be based on mine?
Yes.
Okay, so whatever my minimum distribution was at death, it would be theirs.
That's correct.
And they could leave it there as long as they want under those conditions. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
To ask a question, press star 1 on your telephone keypad. No one has queued up to ask a question at this time.
Okay, let's give them a few more minutes, or a few more seconds.
Okay, we did have one come in.
Yes, I'm coming. I want to know what the project and they have for the church and the community, and when you know the congregation, the new plant, church new plant, there's the beginning, and they have a pension plan. How they cover for them?
If I'm understanding your question, it is for a new congregation, a new church pastor. What is the pension opportunities are for them? Is that right?
Yes.
The pension fund has a new church wide new church planner health care give program that we participate on, and I know that New Church Ministries would have additional information, as well as if you contact our toll-free number, we could send the grant application to you. It just went through a revision as far as the gift, and so the detailed information of the gift I do not have currently in front of me, but for all the callers, for new church planners, that there is a gift program that provides health care assistance for new church planners.
But there's not a special program for pension plan participation for new church.
That is correct.
Okay. Tell me your name, sir.
Yeah. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes, the pension fund has been, to cover the senior or the members, and believe that they cover under the church, but they don't have any aspect to conduct they not believe on that project. They expect to the pension they have to do something anyway to let them believe in the pension fund. And when the people die like that, the people doesn't work in the church. That they don't have anything in hand to expect to receive and that purpose.
Maybe what you're referring to is that a number of congregations, I know particularly with new church congregations, are you saying that they don't understand the pension fund programs and they need some help in understanding what those are?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if they cover the pension fund cover the people when they have some problem, happen.
Well, one of the things that I know that Employee Services as a group, one of the things that we do is advocate on behalf of clergy. So one of the things that we can do is to, if you will contact us, we can be in touch with church leaders. We can provide them the resources that they might need to understand the value and the benefit of the pension fund, particularly the pension plan for clergy, and to find a way to advocate on your behalf. That is one of the things that we can do. So if you would be sure to give us a call or to send us an email that we can resource you properly, because that's what we're here for, is to try to meet your needs.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you would like to ask a question, press star 1 on your telephone keypad. We have no questions in queue at this time.
Okay, let's give it a few more seconds.
Okay. That is star 1 on your telephone keypad to ask a question. No one has queued up at this time.
Okay. Well, operator, let me make a final comment, and then we will call the meeting to an end. I want to thank everyone who has offered questions and all of those who've been listening in. I trust we have responded in a manner that has been helpful. Our goal always is to care for the resources entrusted to us in a prudent and thoughtful manner, taking special care to address the unique requirements and risks associated with each of our programs. We take great satisfaction that during the conversion of the new data system, all account balances were in good order. They were never in question. Transaction and reporting capacity, of course, has been a challenge and one that we continue to work to fully resolve. But throughout this process, no one has lost a penny of account value. Know that all of us, staff and directors alike, will continue to focus all of our energy towards maintaining the pension fund's financial strength, even as we seek ways to serve more effectively and broadly within the life of the church. We thank you for the privilege of serving you and for your interest today. We will schedule another forum when we believe we have important information to share. Until then, please call or email us with any further questions you may have. It is our great honor to serve you. Good evening to all.
That does conclude our conference for today. Thank you for your participation and for using AT&T Teleconference Service. You may now disconnect.